Hi guys, Shelly here with Sew Shelly Quilts. We're going to actually thread the 8 series bobbin. I did a troubleshooting video the other day and was requested to really hone in on the threading. So that's what we're going to do here. And I want to talk to you a little bit about bobbins as we do that. I have a regular bobbin case here. This one's off of my 730. And this is what we're used to threading. This is actually the embroidery version. And so if you're used to these type of bobbins, which if you're a BERNINA owner you are, you're going to drop the bobbin in and we put it in the slit. Then we pull that thread until it's under this tensioning. This little tension guide, and we rotate the bobbin. Then we're ready to sew, regular sewing. I think we're all used to that concept. So there's a slit and a tension guide. Then if we want to do machine embroidery, on this particular bobbin, we add some extra tension. So what we do is we take the little curly Q and we go curly Q. And when it did that, it added a little bit of extra tension by holding it through that curly Q. That way it's ready for machine embroidery, which doesn't only mean digitized machine embroidery with the big embroidery unit, but it means decorative stitches and buttonholes. So anytime you need your bobbin pulled to the back, you add this extra tensioning. So I think many of us are used to this type of a bobbin and the components of it, and the fact that we drop it in, put it in the slit, under the tongue, pull the thread, and then add extra. If you're on a 5mm machine, then that extra is just kind of a peg with a hole in it, so you would put that extra thread. Okay, so with all that in mind, I want to show you the 8 series bobbin, which is basically the same thing. Okay. So we're going to look at that closely. When you open the door on the 8 series, the bobbin just comes out on its own and it never comes out into your hand. So we're going to look at some of the same components though on the 8 series bobbin. It just isn't in your hand. So to remove the bobbin from the bobbin case, this center little peg, I'm going to move from right to left, and that releases the bobbin. So I'm going to take the bobbin out. Now on the 8 series bobbin, you always want the silver showing, whether you're winding the bobbin or inserting the bobbin. You need to be able to see that silver. Okay. So then what we have on here is kind of the same. There's a slit right here. See that slit? And in fact, I'm going to roll the hand wheel down and tip this back a little bit and show you. Let me get my flashlight on maybe so we can see. Let's see, where can we see it? I want you to be able to see that. That the slit goes right here to that circle. There we go. So it goes, when you put that in the slit, the thread is going to about that midpoint, that circle. Well, underneath on the bottom side of that circle is that tensioning guide, exactly what we're used to. So we'll put it in the slit, we'll run it along the guide, we'll rotate the thread, and we'll pull it in. So let me show you where that tensioning guide is on the bottom, okay? Now I don't use my mirror very often, so it's all scratched. Let's see, maybe I better go get a different mirror. I'll be right back. Okay. I'm back with a mirror that's not scratched. Mine's scratched because I never use it and I just leave it in the drawer with all my other utilities. So, do you see in that mirror, when I'm looking at the bottom, guess what? There's that same tensioning, kind of a brass looking guide. It's just like on our other bobbin. It's right here. See that? Right there. So when you go into the slit, you're pulling it under that tensioning, just like you were on this bobbin. Into the slit, under the tensioning. So I think if we understand the concepts, then that makes it go a lot easier. Okay? So that's all that you're doing. So here we go. Let me zoom out so we can see the process. Very simple process. Okay, we're going to take the thread or the bobbin, pop it in. Pull the thread over the top. It goes into the slit right there, and you make sure that it goes in that slit. Okay? Right there. If you miss that slit, you're in trouble. So now that it's in that slit, I'm holding it with my right hand, and I'm just taking my finger and pushing it kind of a little bit back to go into that angle, and then just across the bottom. And once I pull it into the front of this, and I pull my fingers up until that bobbin has rotated about 10 inches of thread off. So it's the spinning of that bobbin that puts it under that tension. So guess what? That's all there was to it for sewing. It's done. That is in the tension. That thread is under that tension guide. Let me see if I can zoom in and show you. And that's all there was to it to get it through. You can barely see. See how it's coming out under that brass? There we go, a little bit better light. See? Just by letting it rotate. So I put it in, back, and then let it rotate, and it automatically went in. You're not going to need your mirror. Okay, I'm going to do that again for you. So here we go. I'm going to pop it in over the top into that slit. With my finger, I'm kind of pushing it a little bit just into that angle, and then I bring it over and I hold it taut and I let it rotate until I've pulled about 10 inches of thread. That's all there is to it. Now, if I need to add that secondary, like on here was through the little pigtail, we do that, we thread for embroidery, and all I'm going to do is hold this thread taut, and I'm no longer spinning the bobbin, and I'm just dragging it, and I'm gonna see, I believe I practiced this, I'm pretty sure you can see this go into that clip. So you see that little round metal clip? When I drag my thread along the front of this bar, oh, let's see, do it, pop. It went through those little teeth right there at the front, and now it's inside of that metal circle. That's called threaded for embroidery. Okay? So there's a little gap that you just slide it through. Right there. Do you see the little gap? So I'm going to do that again. And you don't need your mirror. You're going to feel all of this. It's going to click when it goes into the tension, and it's going to click when it goes into embroidery. So let me just pull back and show you the hand motions now that you understand exactly what you're doing. And remember here, the reason I push back a little bit is so that I follow that slit to that inside circle that we looked at. So right there, boom, into the slit, push it slightly back. Bring it over and let it rotate. It's threaded for perfect sewing right now. To add embroidery, I hold the thread straight up and taut. The bobbin is not rotating. I'm just dragging the thread and click right there. Okay? So that's how you thread the 8 series, and it will be perfect every time. The cutter is behind. When we first rotated, we came in front. But the cutter is behind on this side. I'll just reach up and cut the thread. when I shut the door, it's going to position itself perfectly. That is everything and more than you needed to know about the 8 series bobbin. I'm Shelley with Sew Shelley Quilts, and I hope this was helpful.